Hello fellow citizens, Metaverse is George from Blockchain DXB and today is the 14th of April 2023. Now last week guys, there was massive news regarding the CPI numbers and the Ethereum Shanghai upgrade was successful. Now the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum has definitely pumped up. Unfortunately, cryptocurrency and blockchain protocols that are connected to Metaverse is definitely not looking good. And if you recollect guys, earlier in the month of January, Decentraland had pumped up 150%. And along with that, Sandbox had also pumped up 80%. So the start of the year, cryptocurrency and blockchain protocols that were connected to Metaverse were definitely looking good. Unfortunately, since the last 7 days, the numbers are not looking good. So we'll definitely go ahead and explore that in today's episode. And in today's episode, guys, we're also going to be asking this question: are we Metaverse ready? Now look, when you ask people who are working in the Metaverse ready space, they will definitely say yes, the Metaverse is definitely near. But unfortunately, looks like the technology is not ready. So I'll go ahead and share my thoughts and opinions on that. And guys, for once, Forbes has also written an excellent article that discusses the challenges to expect in the Metaverse. And they've also offered certain suggestions. So we'll definitely go ahead and explore that. Now look guys, one of the reasons why there is so much of hype in the world of Metaverse is only because of Facebook changing its name from Facebook to Meta. But recently, there's not much news regarding Meta in the Metaverse news. And so in today's episode, we will look at Meta's impact, both the positive and the negative news. Now just 2 days ago, Meta did publish a blog about the importance of education in the Metaverse. So I'll definitely go ahead and share my thoughts and opinions on that. And guys, like we do in every Crypto and Coffee at 8 podcast, I'll be discussing the top 5 Metaverse news from around the world and top 5 Metaverse news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. So let's kick start with it right away. Welcome to Metaverse Everything, the ultimate destination for virtual and augmented reality enthusiasts. The Metaverse is a vast and expanding universe of possibility, and in our show we aim to bring you coverage of every aspect of this exciting new frontier. From gaming and entertainment to socializing and work, the Metaverse is changing the way we live and interact with each other. Each week, we will bring you expert guests who will discuss the latest trends and technologies in the augmented and virtual reality industry and offer practical tips for getting the most out of your Metaverse experience. We'll also explore the social and cultural implication of this rapidly evolving realm and how it's changing the way we communicate and connect with each other. Plus, we'll keep you up to date on the latest Metaverse news from around the world and Dubai and the UAE. Whether you are a seasoned augmented reality or virtual reality enthusiast or just getting started, Metaverse Everything has something for you. Join us as we journey into the Metaverse and discover all it has to offer. From the latest games and apps to the most cutting-edge hardware and software, we'll bring you the inside scoop on everything you need to know to fully immerse yourself in this exciting new world. So tune in and join us on a journey into the Metaverse. Whether you're a seasoned veteran or new to the world of augmented reality and virtual reality, the Metaverse is something for everyone, and we can't wait to share it with you on Metaverse Everything. Now guys, since you've taken care of that, let's look at the global cryptocurrency market. Now guys, exactly a month ago on the 17th of March, the cryptocurrency and blockchain protocols that are connected to Metaverse, if you look at the market cap, it was $14.45 billion, but today it is at $15.3 billion. So the market cap of cryptocurrency and blockchain protocols that are connected to Metaverse has definitely pumped up. But if you look at the 24-hour trading volume, it only stands at $1.73 billion. Now, ApeCoin, the price is $4.43. Since the last 24 hours, it is down by 1.35%. Since the last 7 days, it is up by 3.56%. Decentraland or Mana is down to 62 cents. And one thing, guys, which I did mention at the beginning of this episode is, in the month of January and February, Decentraland and Sandbox did actually pump up to the moon, and they were the highest so far as the increase is concerned among all cryptocurrency protocols. Now, as of today, it is at 62 cents. Since the last 24 hours, it is marginally up by 1.76%. Since the last 7 days, it is up by 2.26%. And this begs this question, guys. The user experience of Decentraland or Mana and Sandbox is absolutely terrible. It is as though you're using a computer going back to 1980s, and that should not be the case, particularly when you talk about Metaverse. The experience needs to be 10 times better than what we are currently experiencing. Now the Sandbox is down to 66 cents. Since the last 24 hours, it is down by 0.02%. Since the last 7 days, it is up by 1.15%. Axie Infinity or AXS, it is at $8.86. Since the last 24 hours, it is up by 1.22%. Since the last 7 days, it is up by 1.10%, and Theta Network or Theta is at $1.09, and since the last 24 hours it is up by 2.23%. Since the last 7 days it is up by 2.76%. Now look guys, when I prepare for my Crypto and Coffee 8 podcast and when I'm looking for news, unfortunately since this year I'm not able to find any news relating to Metaverse, so we'll definitely go ahead and explore if the trend is dying down. But before that, let's look at, are we ready for Metaverse? Now look guys, you need to understand that people who are working in the Bitcoin blockchain and more importantly in the Metaverse space, they would say that yes, we are definitely ready for Metaverse. Now what you need to understand that people are definitely willing to experiment with the new technology. However, the technology is still lagging behind, and I do feel that mainstream adoption of Metaverse is definitely 8 to 10 years from now. Now what is really needed is that Metaverse would require the power of 5G communication, maybe 6G or 7G communication, artificial intelligence, next generation processors, quantum computing, edge computing, augmented reality, virtual reality and mixed reality, all to be combined, and that, to be honest, is going to take a lot of time. Now let me try to read out some bits and pieces of information that does discuss if we are Metaverse ready. Gartner, one of the leading publications, they have actually predicted that 30% of organizations will have products and services ready for Metaverse by 2026. Now I kind of disagree to it, because what you need to understand guys, just switching existing systems into Metaverse will not cut it. The experience in Metaverse needs to be 10 times better than what we are currently experiencing. So having a regular store in Metaverse is not truly Metaverse. The experience needs to be 10 times better. Now Forbes, which is an extreme left-leaning publication, and often they provide misleading and incorrect information regarding politics, they have mentioned that by 2024, Metaverse is predicted to grow into a $783.3 billion market cap. Now as of today guys, the market cap is only at $15.3 billion. It is extremely unlikely that in the next 1 year or so, the market cap will go well over 20 times of what they are predicting. But nonetheless, these are their thoughts. Now, Forbes did publish an article which actually did talk about, are we Metaverse ready? And what I really liked about this article is that they specified 3 challenges that marketers can expect to face, particularly in Metaverse, and they've also offered ways to overcome. So we'll definitely go ahead and look at that in a bit. But before that, there is an article which is published by Decrypt, which actually goes and gives a very detailed understanding and explanation, which states that people are ready, but the technology is not. And look guys, one thing which I mentioned several times in my Metaverse Everything podcast, when you talk about Metaverse, the developing countries and the underdeveloped countries are very keen and proactive about Metaverse, whereas developed countries such as USA, United Kingdom, and Scandinavian regions are not too keen on Metaverse. Despite what you think, these are the facts. Now let me try to give us some more information which possibly tackles this question. Are we Metaverse ready? Now in Seed Knowledge, they have published an article which states in 2026, an estimated of 25% of consumers will spend at least an hour a day in the Metaverse. Now what are your thoughts guys? You need to understand that when you talk about Roblox, granted a lot of teenagers are using Roblox, but that is definitely not Metaverse. Just switching current existing systems into Metaverse will not cut it. One thing you need to understand guys, when you talk about Metaverse, you're talking about it replacing the mobile phone, and this would happen only if virtual reality headset, augmented reality headset and mixed reality headsets are extremely easy to use for a longer duration. And Meta is actually heavily investing in that, and their goal is to release headsets which are somewhat similar to wearing sunglasses, and the cost that they are aiming for is $100. So keeping that thing in mind, I do feel that maybe in a decade's time or so, consumers will spend more than an hour in the Metaverse. As in, think of it guys, why would you want to use mobile phone if the Metaverse experience is 10 times better than what you're experiencing in the Metaverse? Now guys, let's discuss a brilliant article which is written by a left-leaning publication called as Forbes, and they discussed, are we ready to enter the Metaverse? And what I really liked is that they clearly explain 3 challenges marketers can expect in the Metaverse industry. And the 3 challenges are hyperspeed, limitless space, and vast channel ecosystem. And what I really like guys, they've also offered suggestions on how to overcome them. So what they've mentioned is 3 areas on how you can overcome them. That is consumer reach, commerce management, and product data ecosystem. So let me try to give out a very brief overview because the article discusses the challenges that marketers may face in the metaverse and how they can prepare for it. Now, the author does actually believe that the current commerce ecosystem will not be sufficient for the metaverse, and companies will need to simplify the commerce processes to deliver a unified customer experience. And this, guys, I've been telling time and over again, just switching current existing systems to the metaverse will not cut it. The experience needs to be 10 times better. The author also identifies 3 key challenges for marketers in the metaverse, including hyperspeed, limitless space, and a vast channel ecosystem. Now listen, guys, to be successful in the metaverse, he does recommend a simplified approach to product to consumer management, which includes consumer reach, commerce management, and a product data ecosystem. And he does believe that a strong product to consumer strategy can enable companies to expand the market reach, simplify commerce operations, and handle an infinite product catalog size with complex data. And finally, guys, the article states that 30% of the organizations are predicted to have their products and services ready for metaverse by 2026. Now, what are your thoughts? Now, the reasons why organizations all over the world are moving into metaverse is only because of Facebook changing its name from Facebook to Meta. Now, look, guys, if you follow LinkedIn, what I've noticed is people have become experts in metaverse the moment Facebook changed its name from Facebook to Meta. So let me try to highlight some of the positives and the negatives of Meta's impact on metaverse. And one big question, guys, which I'd like to ask you guys is a centralized metaverse better than a distributed metaverse? And there are 3 areas that I want you to focus on. That is user experience, the customer service which will be available, and the cost to use metaverse. You'd also need to understand the ease of usage. Having an extremely heavy virtual reality headset or augmented reality headset will not cut it. Now, going back to the news of Meta, let's look at the positive impact that Facebook had when it changed its name from Facebook to Meta. Now, because of the name, it did draw a lot of attention. And one thing which I just mentioned earlier, via LinkedIn, I noticed a lot of them literally became experts in metaverse. And guys, blockchain and cryptocurrency protocols saw a significant boost, particularly when you talk about Decentraland, when you talk about Sandbox. Snoop Dogg, he has heavily invested in purchasing land and properties. When you talk about ETFs related to metaverse, they have been approved quite a lot. And in my Metaverse Everything podcast last month, I did actually mention top 10 metaverse related ETFs that has been approved. Now look, guys, because of Meta, we've definitely heard a lot of mainstream adoption. And what is really interesting to note is high luxury and fashion industries were the early adopters. Now, when high luxury products get into the metaverse, a lot of the teenagers, a lot of the younger generations who use Instagram or TikTok, they get accustomed to knowing what metaverse is. So the impact on Meta on metaverse is absolutely massive, and the news is vice versa as well. Now, unfortunately, Meta's impact on metaverse has had negative connotations as well. There have been insane competitive rivalry. Now, one thing which I've noticed, particularly in LinkedIn, a lot of the guys who are building things on metaverse, they absolutely above Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg. Now, granted that some of the things that Mark Zuckerberg is known for is definitely not right, but you need to understand, guys, metaverse will be successful if Meta is successful. Now, one thing to understand, guys, I'm definitely not a fan of left-leaning Mark Zuckerberg or Facebook, but you can't deny the fact the impact it has had on metaverse. One of the biggest negatives that I can think of is centralization of metaverse. Now, having one central entity which is more left-leaning politically is definitely not ideal to be in charge of a centralized metaverse. And guys, one of the biggest negative aspects of Meta is the initial experience via Oculus Quest 2 headset, and the Oculus Pro was definitely not as per expectation. And one thing which I tend to refer again and again is when you talk about metaverse, the experience needs to be 10 times better than what we are currently experiencing. And guys, since the last 6 months, we have found negative news regarding Meta. They made people redundant, and I've gone ahead and explained that in my Metaverse Everything podcast. But keeping all these things in mind, Mark Zuckerberg is definitely focused, and he does have a long-term vision. But lately, there's news about Meta switching into artificial intelligence. And because of this, guys, when I prepare for my Crypto and Coffee a Day podcast or Metaverse Everything podcast, I'm unable to see news regarding Metaverse. Now, this is an impact on Meta in the Metaverse industry. Now, what are your thoughts, guys? Mention them in the comments below. Now, on the 12th of April, Meta did publish a really beautiful blog that discussed the importance of Metaverse in the education field, and they have 3 key takeaways. So let me try to read out what these key takeaways are. The first one is Metaverse technologies have the potential to transform school lessons bringing teachers and students together remotely in shared spaces, enhance vocational training, and create new opportunities for lifelong learning. The second is academic studies have found that virtual reality can positively improve a variety of learning outcomes such as comprehension, knowledge retention, student engagement, attention span and motivation. And finally, guys, metaverse technologies can also help to tackle geographical disparities and give students opportunities to learn from people and institutions they can access locally. I kind of 100% agree to it because you need to understand, guys, the metaverse has the potential to revolutionize education by offering immersive, interactive experiences that are not possible in traditional classroom settings. Imagine learning about history and using your virtual reality headset or augmented reality headset and going back in time. The learning experience will be absolutely massive. And these experience guides can enable students to explore virtual worlds, conduct experiments in virtual labs, and collaborate with peers and educators in shared virtual spaces. And there could be no geographical restrictions as well. And one of the key advantages of the metaverse technologies is that they can enhance students' engagement, motivation, and knowledge retention. Studies have shown that VR can positively impact a range of learning outcomes, including comprehension, attention span, and motivation. Now think of it, guys, if you are an introvert, what you can do is you can change your avatar and you can be a completely different person. Now I do remember a very specific episode which was released by Metaverse Frontier where the singer was a complete introvert, but what he did, he tried to use an avatar, and if I'm not mistaken, he's making millions of dollars in producing music that exists only in the metaverse. And guys, by providing students with immersive and interactive learning experiences, metaverse technologies can help to make learning more engaging and memorable. Metaverse technologies can also help to tackle geographical disparities in education. In many parts of the world, students lack access to quality education and educational resources. Now with metaverse, students can learn from institutions and educators without having to leave their homes or travel long distances. This can help to level the playing field and ensure that all students have access to the best possible outcome. And finally, guys, metaverse technologies can provide new opportunities for lifelong learning by offering flexible and convenient learning experiences. The metaverse can enable adults to continue the education and professional development through their lives, and this, guys, can help improve social mobility and economic growth by enabling individuals to acquire new skills and knowledge that are high in demand in the workforce. So I 100% agree to the blog. Now guys, let's discuss top 5 metaverse news from around the world. And it looks like Singapore is definitely being an early adopter in the metaverse. And Singapore has opened up its airport to the metaverse. And Singapore's Changi Airport can now be explored on Roblox. Now really I'm not sure, guys, if this is truly metaverse, because it looks like more of a virtual news, but nonetheless, users will be able to experience a virtual representation of the airport's popular features such as indoor waterfall. It'd be really cool if this experience is available using augmented reality. Now the second newscast is about the meme coin Shiba Inu. And a few weeks ago in my Metaverse Everything podcast, I did talk about the price of Shiba Inu pumping up to the moon because they were venturing into Metaverse, and Shiba Inu's Metaverse will partially open by end of 2023. Now one thing to note is that, guys, the developers have clearly stated that the metaverse is unlikely to be fully completed on releasing, as it will be an opening project and there will be a lot of time need to be invested in getting the metaverse ready, but nonetheless some positive news for meme holders. The third news, guys, is about industrial metaverse, and this is to do with partnership. Now Sopra Steria and Nvidia have leveraged the power of industrial metaverse, and Sopra Steria has partnered to enable its customers to develop custom 3D simulations and create physically accurate virtual worlds. Now listen, guys, if you're someone who's working in the metaverse industry, I would definitely recommend to keep in track what Nvidia is doing, because one thing that I've been noticing is that since the last year or so, Nvidia is getting heavily invested into metaverse. So if you or your company wants to have a competitive advantage in metaverse, please make sure that you look at all the events that Nvidia is conducting. Now the fourth news is about a partnership, and this is to do with Utopia Metaverse. Now listen, guys, online virtual social networking site called IMVU and Pussy Riot, which I believe is from Russia, they are planning to launch Utopia Metaverse, and the band member Nadia announced the launching of Web3 Metaverse community space called Utopia. Now looks like, guys, this is going to be a woke metaverse, because when I was reading through the article, it definitely seems like a political move. but nonetheless, the NFT series designed by Nadia was powered by Metaverse developer MetaJuice and was showcased last Wednesday, and it was done in none other than a woke city and extreme left-leaning state of New York. And the fifth newscast is about the blog by Meta, something which I did mention earlier on. And Meta did publish a blog explaining how Metaverse can transform education, and Metaverse technologies have the potential to transform education, but to realize the potential in the years ahead, it will require regulators and policymakers to grasp the opportunities these technologies present. So those were the top 5 news from around the world. Now guys, let's look at the top 5 Metaverse news from Dubai, UAE and Middle East. And I'm really hoping that in this competitive world, Dubai and UAE does turn out to be a leader, and one of the vision of Sheikh Hamdan is to be the top 10 city in the world so far as Metaverse is concerned. Now I have 2 news regarding Dubai Customs. The first one is that Dubai Custom introduced Metaverse to revolutionize custom leadership development. And guys, in my Crypto and Coffee Date podcast, I did cover this news in detail, so if you do want to find out the specifics of it, please check out the episode that I released in my Crypto and Coffee Date podcast on the 13th of April. And Dubai Customs is firmly committed to driving innovation and embracing cutting-edge technology to enhance trade operations, stimulate investment in the commercial sector, and advance Dubai's economic agenda. And look guys, this forward-thinking approach is a key step towards harnessing the full potential of advanced technologies such as Metaverse. And one thing which I've been saying in my Crypto and Coffee Date podcast is the Dubai government in particular are very proactive, not just in the field of Metaverse, but also in NFTs, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and quite a lot more. Now, being proactive has the power to transform custom operations in an unprecedented way, and by embracing the potential of Metaverse, Dubai Customs is taking a giant leap forward towards a smarter, more efficient and more innovative future. Now I have another news regarding Dubai Customs, which I'll discuss in a bit. The second news, guys, is about a new entrant in the Metaverse space in Dubai, and this is Evermeter. And Evermeter is a new player in Metaverse, creating space for businesses, and has recently entered the flourishing tech industry in UAE, and the company's innovative solutions are aimed at helping businesses evolve while also providing support in the UAE's ambition to establish itself as a prominent player in the Metaverse industry. And the third news, guys, is once again to do with a government entity, and this is to do with dispute resolution in the Metaverse. And Dubai International Arbitration Center, also called as DIAC, has launched its Metaverse platform for dispute resolution, and the Metaverse provides a virtual reality space where parties can participate in dispute resolution proceedings from anywhere in the world, thereby eliminating the need for physical transportation. It's going to be really weird to have virtual avatars and when you're trying to resolve a dispute, but nonetheless a positive step. Now the fourth news, guys, is about horse racing in the Metaverse, and I did cover this news before it was officially launched, and this is to do with Dubai Horse Cup. And the Dubai Horse Cup's DVC, immersive one-of-a-kind virtual horse racing experience, is back to give players a taste of owning, breeding, trading and racing their horses, and players can also earn top dollars for their efforts through DVC coin, better known as DVCC coin, each of which is equivalent to $1. Now listen guys, I really am not sure how this thing would work, because the Dubai Horse offers a specially designed family system, a way to get more ownership, loyalty and team working experience. So essentially what can happen is family members can get active property, finish family tasks to earn family coins and other assets, along with mining coins from the family meadow and participating in the family territory war. It sounds a bit kiddish to be honest, but nonetheless it might turn out to be a great idea. The one thing you need to understand, when joining a family, players can also enjoy many ultra casual games through the family Topia, in addition to participating in family trips to collect fragments and synthesize a mineral deposit. A few days ago, guys, I was listening to a podcast. I believe she was a marketing director from Decentraland, and she was going ahead and explaining about pets in the virtual world to be connected to the real world. Now, the idea sounds great, but my big question is, do we actually require a metaverse for that? Because what she was saying is that there is a virtual pet which is connected to a real pet, which means as and when investment goes into the virtual pet, you can actually withdraw that funds and utilize it, let's say, for taking care of your pets. Now, this idea sounds beautiful, and fortunately, guys, this can be done on a regular website in Web 3.0 fashion, and to be honest, it'll work much better. So what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, go to any of your podcasting channel and listen to the episode by Welcome to the Metaverse. And I believe the guest is Marja, who's the marketing director of Decentraland. And they also had another guest, I believe her name was Alicia. And I believe what they were discussing is a project called as Pedigree Fosterverse. And look guys, once again, the idea and the intentions might be great, but it would work much better without the metaverse and work much better with Web 2.0. Now guys, let's discuss the final news for today, and this is to do with Dubai Customs having a virtual presence, and Dubai Customs plans to have a virtual presence in the metaverse to contribute to Dubai's economy and create virtual jobs. And they organize the Future Foresight Forum to explore the future of customs and improve customer service and input from various business sectors. And look guys, having government administration getting into the metaverse is absolutely brilliant, and Dubai Customs is exploring the potential of metaverse and is planning to have an online presence in the interactive and virtual space. And this move guys is aligned with Dubai Metaverse strategy, which aims to position Dubai as a major player in the metaverse economy and contribute to $4 billion to the economy within the next 5 years, while supporting 40,000 virtual jobs. And Dubai Customs recently organized the Future Foresight Forum during the UAE Innovation Month 2023, bringing together representatives from various business sectors to explore the future of customs and success factors for custom services. And attendees included Ahmed Mahbub Musibi, the Director General of Dubai Customs and CEO of Ports, Customs and Free Zone Corporations, as well as representatives from foreign diplomatic bodies and strategic partners. And during the forum guys, work groups were formed consisting of traders and investors from different business sectors to share ideas on the most effective ways to tackle future challenges and transform them into accomplishments. And the work group presented high quality ideas to improve custom works, leading to a new starting point in Dubai Customs effort and develop and provide top-notch custom services and facilities. And guys, I'm pretty much sure in the next coming weeks and months we'll be hearing a lot of news regarding Dubai Customs getting into Metaverse. So those were the news guys from Metaverse Everything series for the 14th of April. If you like listening to this podcast, please give it a 5-star rating, share it across, and mention any of your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. And guys, in case if you have any feedback or suggestions, you can also drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my website area2071.com that talks everything about Metaverse. And guys, remember, Monday to Thursdays 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And how this series of episodes on the Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And guys, Monday to Thursdays, we also have an Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions from the cryptocurrency world. And what you're listening to right now is a Metaverse Everything podcast, which is a research-driven podcast focusing on educational and informational content about Metaverse and its impact. So thanks so much for listening guys, and have a brilliant weekend ahead. Bye-bye.